Oh yeah, well, we've been here for like 30 minutes. I'm like, oh. No. But after I'd left, they had been there for 30 minutes.
Oh yeah.
By the time they got me filled up with gas.
Yeah, really. My buddy has a Yamaha. Well, he bought some boots. Didn't know anything about it. And I says, really? You see a big guy in the first turn back there. And so I told him, I said, next time you take your car in, call it Roundhouse.
I tried to get him to come down. Yeah. He will not leave that shop.
Tequila Club.
Tequila Club.
Cuervo Club. So my buddy did that. He went and saw Steve and says, hey, do you know Steve or is it Tequila Club? We're going to see what you've been talking to.
Hey, Don's telling a story.
Oh no, I want to hear it.
They do too.
I've heard this.
We went over to La Purísima. And Dick Landfield, he was driving.
Watch the mail.
$5. Jet black, 100 coats of lacquer on that silver. Yeah, I think it was a Lincoln, but it was like a
Okay, yeah.
And you're taking them out to Ballerino Beach and back, scratching the sides of it and all this kind of stuff. But we'd gone over there, and then we're cutting over to the highway to Loretto. That was going to be our next stop. And I'm driving along, and we're over the hill, and I don't think 2 miles from the highway, the pavement, but going to Loretto. Henry's on the radio. Don, come back. You know how you say on the radio. Henry says, come back, Don. I need you to come back. So I turned around and went all the way back up that goddamn windy road up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And Frank had been drinking a little bit too much, and he went over the edge.
Franson? Jerry Franson or?
No, Frank.
Frankie Freeman?
Snook?
No, God.
Matlock. Yeah. I can't imagine him drinking too much.
He went over the edge of the cliff. I mean, it's 300 feet down.
A long ways, yeah.
And I can just barely squeeze around with my little car. And Henry says, hook onto us and then pull us back on the road. And I was able to get around the damn road. Well, here's Henry and here's Frank.
You're going to hook onto them and they're going to drag your ass over
That's
the
what
edge.
I was afraid of, going over the edge. But that wasn't half of it. You know Dave the electrician?
Morris. Yep, Dave Morris. Julio.
He was in the back seat. And they wouldn't let him out of the car.
Oh, shit.
They got out because it was tipping over this way. Stay in the back seat if you get out, it's going over.
Oh,
and,
shit.
You know, it took me 30 minutes to get up there, and they got him fed in a goddamn car.
He's dead now, too, you know.
Really?
Yeah, he passed away about a year ago.
No, I didn't know that.
In the trailer behind the shop over there on Alamo.
Really?
What happened?
That's where he lived.
Julio.
Sure.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, about a year ago, passed away over there behind Eric's house in his trailer that he lived in.
From what?
Oh, he's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
He had a heart attack.
You only got your health,
man. Man, I am so... I was so... When I went to Jack Schleman's 80th last weekend is when I found out about Tony Trezera, and I was just like, God dang it. You know, I really like the guy, and we all die. You know, it's just... that food is so... I love his pizzas.
And you know what's weird? It's the smell. The food is good, but the smell, it smells like the mud.
It's, yeah, exactly.
What? The mud?
The mud.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's like...
Somebody, the owner of the
Tony
mud?
Trezera.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he died like 2 weeks ago. 14 days. About 14 days ago.
I told Doris.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and you know, and back when I cut my teeth on this stuff is when my dad hooked up with Don Roundtree. You know, we were both, my dad was a boat racer. And then he met Don through the Coachman in Riverside. And decided he sold the boat and went to Chenoweth, Lynn, and said, you know, he wanted a two-seat car, and Don basically built single-seaters. He built a couple two-seaters, but single-seaters was his forte. So they bought a Chenoweth. I'm sorry, Chenoweth. He bought a Funko and put the Samwinder hoop on it. And they painted it the yellow and stuff. But that's how I cut my teeth on racing off-road. Was the Magruders.
I remember that name.
Mark and Mike Magruder. They had the McDonald's with Tom Spiel.
Okay.
My dad rented the two-seater for the Snore Midnight Special one year, and that's where he sold the boat and decided he was going to run cars.
That got you started.
That got me started. And then I built my Baja Bug down at Don Roundtree's shop on La Cadena, and then from there I went to work for Lee Layton, and from there I went to work for Tom Spiel, and then Schleman. Huh?
What did you do for Layton?
Sold t-shirts. Yeah, no, he taught me how to build motors. He taught me how to build motors back then, but I mean, like I was telling Dennis, that was so long ago, I don't remember half the shit he taught me. I just know that there's a few things that come back to me sometimes, but
how long did you work with?
A year.
I never knew that.
I worked for him for a year, and then I went to Tom Spiel's and worked for him for 2 years, prepping Dave Rogalia, Snook,
names.
Green.
Brooks Green, no, Snook, Frank Snook,
Yep.
Dave Rogalia, Jim Guthrie, and I think, Tom Spiel actually had the single-seater that Plax built.
See,
and we prepped that one and Mark Magruder and Mike Magruder's cars.
Beverly's from the Tavoloni family.
No, my brother
your
married
relations.
my brother married into the Tavoloni.
Oh, I mean, I knew the Tavolonis very well when I was growing up. I mean, they were, well, everybody knew the Tavolonis, but my dad was somehow involved with them in some way. And,
it wasn't a rival gang.
No, it wasn't.
Well, they were the mob. They were the Riverside mob, so that was.
No, they were actually in close ties. And then after I worked for Tom, then I went to work for Henry Harris and Eric, and I helped with Brooks Green's car and stuff, you know. And then Walker came into the shop one day, and he drove in there in their Corvette, and I said, "Hey, you know, because he was up and coming at that. I mean, it was like everybody knew Walker was getting sponsorships." And I said, "Do you need any help over there?" And he goes, "Come see me next week."
Really?
And I worked for him for 7 years.
Oh, that's great.
And that's what Chris taught you.
Chris was in that area, and you know what? Randy and I actually battled for positions. Anderson, the guy that's their head guy now and has been forever. It's just we were both just sweeping floors, cleaning parts, you know, and then they got in with the celebrity Jeeps, so we started building Jeeps together, and you know, I mean, we didn't know shit, but they had us bending tubing and welding stuff together. I remember I was underneath one of the Dodges when we ran 3 Dodge Little Red wagons for Mopar in the 1000, and Bill Mears, Rick Siglock, there was a host of celebrities that ran this thing. I mean, there was probably 15 guys. Anyways, I'm up there, I'm welding. They had to have the driveline straps. and I burnt a hole through that damn thing, and it fell down and right in my belly button.
Another burnt pants.
Yeah. Fell down in my belly button, and I'm like, I get up, I'm like, oh shit, and I just closed it in that damn thing.
Oh.
And for about a month, I had this big blister in my belly button, it just fell right in there.
Yeah, now it became an itty.
Which were we broke?
No, when you would go do a test drive from a local dealership.
Oh, well that was, there was, when Walker first started racing, no, I wasn't working for him at that time.
No.
No, I wasn't, but when Walker first started racing with the Ford, when he was running with Strop, actually after he dropped off from Strop and started his own thing, he would go to the dealerships and ask for a test drive on a truck. And he would take all the new parts off the truck. Because back then they didn't require a guy to have, he'd go, yeah, I just want to take a test drive. And he would take this thing down, and he'd have a crew of Dan Shields and Kim Klepper and whoever else, and they would rip the rear end and the springs because it was a stock class.
Yeah.
They would take all the friggin' shit off of it, and they'd bolt it back on and take the truck back. About 8 hours later. I don't want this truck. But they'd be all cleaned up. I mean, it would look like brand new.
Where would they get the replacement parts come from?
Oh, off the race car.
Oh.
The replacement.
Yeah,
they take the old parts off the race car.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They ran their stickers.
Okay, I want to know, when did Riverside start, and when was the race that we took?
Kevin will know that.
When did Riverside Raceway start? When did we take Rick's car out there for the first time?
When did Riverside Raceway start? You mean the actual?
Yeah.
1972, I believe.
Okay, then Rick ran in the first race, didn't he? No, the second race, because we just moved there in 72.
The first race was like a 13-mile loop.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Huge.
It was crazy. And then Mickey got involved with it and shortened it down. But
you got to remember, Score started in
73.
Yeah, it was right after that thing.
Yeah, that was like their first deal.
Yeah, so 72 is when I think it might have been 73, but I think 72 is the first Riverside Raceway, as far as off-road goes. And I know you guys remember, we all went out there. They ran the 5/1600s at night. Remember how they did?
I don't remember.
No, that was the Class 11s they ran at night.
Oh, was it Class 11? No, oh, you're right. That's right. They ran the Class 11s at night. Well, I remember it was Volkswagen,
that was a bitchin' race though,
Bugs,
but
there was one class that they ran at night. I thought it was 5/1600s.
No, because 5/1600s stopped another 5 or 6 years after that.
Okay. So they ran the Class 11s at night, but everything else ran during the day.
Well,
Zina finished third in that race.
And I remember I ran the Challenger class in, I don't know what year it was. And I was the second car through turn 6 and the second car to the first turn, and this friggin' guy came in from behind me and just friggin' T-boned me, and we got mated there. And we could not get apart from each other.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh.
No, I ended up breaking an axle trying to get away from her. Poof. Broke. Rear axle.
Okay, so we moved across from Dick in 7